we're going to do something different today that I've actually never done. I had the idea last. All right, bro, I'm ready, man. I had the idea last. Oh, my bad. I had the idea last summer, I don't know where I was, that I should start out class by, I should start out a semester by getting you all to tell each other and to tell me what you know and what you don't know. Because one of the things in this world of certainly talking about race relations is, or talking about a lot of the issues that we're discussing, is that sometimes we have the idea that people know things that they don't know because, or I don't know, we just don't really understand how much people really understand about certain issues, and I certainly don't have any idea like what you know and what you don't know. And you know, the thing is in the world of kind of social media and the web and so on, it's easy to sometimes imagine that people are I don't know that people know a lot. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to invite people up to talk. And we're going to operate in the following way. You don't forget, I want you to be on Twitter. So, you know, feel free to have your phones out or be on. Social 118 is the hashtag. So, I mean, you could be having a conversation with each other about all sorts of things. But here's what I want or don't want. You can't be snarky. I'm gonna be inviting people up to talk about issues that we're going to discuss in the class. I have 10 things, or maybe 11, I think, topics. We'll see if we get through them all today. Topics that we will discuss at some point throughout the semester. And I'm gonna just see what you know about these topics. So we'll have volunteers, and you aren't expected to be an expert. You're not really expected to know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know much about any of this stuff that we're talking about. So maybe it's quite likely you know more than I do. But you can't be snarky, especially if you're on Twitter. You can't say annoying things, like making fun of something that somebody says or something like that. You know what I mean? That's just really uncool. And that's where we're at. And part of a class like this is just, just having the cojones to just say what you want to say. Because that's what it is. This is a free speech zone, actually, in this class. So we're really going to engage. And yeah, that's all. I don't know. I don't have to go any further. Do I have to go any further? No. Well, let's just have fun. And let's be serious. Okay, first one is this. The Trump. My wife actually started calling the border wall the Trump. She's saying it should just be Trump. A Trump. We're going to build a Trump. That's a perfect name for a border wall, right? It's a Trump. Oh, hey, by the way, I should say something at the very second day. You know how I said on Tuesday that people who are liberal sometimes think I'm too conservative, and people who are conservative think I'm too liberal. People also assume that, of course, I'm teaching a class on race relations, and of course, we had Barack Obama as our first half-black president, and of course, I must have voted for him. I didn't vote for Obama, okay? I didn't vote for Hillary either. I didn't vote for Trump. So, you don't make assumptions about a lot of things in this world, right? So just keep that in mind. However, because whoever is in power is the one I'm going to kind of make fun of a little bit, right? It's like the talk show hosts, in the evening monologues. They're not making fun of Obama anymore because Trump's president, so they make fun of him. And when Obama was president, they weren't making fun of George Bush. And when Bush was president, they weren't making fun of George Clinton or Bill Clinton, whatever, Parliament, Funkadelic, you know what I mean? So you might hear me make a few more cracks about Trump, but that's because he's the dude in the White House. I'm not going to talk about Obama because he's gone, right? He's done his thing. So keep that in mind, right? So when I make a joke about, we're going to call this the Trump. Well, I made jokes about Obama too, but that was then. Now we're in a different world. So we have a different president. Okay, who wants to come up and tell us what you know? And here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you the microphone, and I want you to take a few minutes and pretend like you have to teach the class something about the border wall. And you just kind of put it in perspective and say something, right? The border wall or border security. You can pick any of those out. Just what is it? What's it about? How is it about? And how do you make sense of it? And who wants to go first? Who's going to go first? Because if no one goes first, I'm just going to pick somebody. No, you go first. Come on. It's fun. This is fun. It's a game. You're not expected to know anything. Who wants to go? Come on, man. Someone. Come on, y'all. You just got to say something. Come on, you got it. Someone has opinions. At least someone who has opinions. Who's got you got opinions? Oh, come on, man. All right. Here you go. Dude. They're clapping for you before you even start. It's the hat, I'm telling you. So what's your name?
My name is Mason.
What is it?
Mason.
Mason?
Yeah.
You can stand. I left the table here because sometimes it's more comfortable sitting. So give us the, you don't have to go too far, but give us the border wall. Well, what are the issues? What's up? Just go.
The border wall is something that Trump is requesting $5 billion for. I personally think it's really fucking stupid.
No, hang on. No, wait, you can't. No. Okay, hang on. You ready? Trump supporters, you had your opportunity and you didn't raise your hand. So, right? That could have been you. You could have been like, yeah, I personally think it was really awesome, but whatever. But you didn't. So there you go. What's that? Oh, dude, sorry, man. All right. So listen. You can't say that. Okay. You pretend you're me, right?
Okay. So essentially, the goal behind it is to cut down on illegal immigration, but a large issue with the wall is that a lot of illegal immigrants don't come through the border. A lot of them enter through airports and other things. They're not just climbing walls to get here. On top of that, it's a lot of people think it's inhumane. We're supposed to be a country that's a melting pot of culture, and we're shutting out people who are coming to us because they are looking for shelter and for a safer place to live. So that's a big thing that's frowned upon.
Anybody have a question for her? I have a question.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you have a question? Yeah, all right, go ahead.
If we're trying to stop immigration, why don't we do one on Canada too? Like, I don't understand.
Why don't we do what?
Like, why isn't there a wall on the border of Canada? Like,
the largest region is because America's racist, so...
Yeah, exactly.
No,
thank you.
No, hang on.
Sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry.
America's racist. Are you an American?
Some people are racist in America, yeah. A lot of people who are at the top of our government right now are racist.
Okay, hang on. You don't know that. See how hard it is to do my job? Okay, yeah, exactly. All right. So listen, how many people would you let in then if you don't have a wall? Like, how many people would you say, like, hey, okay, you can come in?
From everywhere, or like...
Yeah, like you don't have a wall, you're just going to open the... How about it, Trump people? I got you on this one, right? Yeah, like, well, how many are you going to let in?
I don't...
Ms. Liberal?
So the thing is, just because that I'm not for, I think that a lot of it let me start over. So it gets misconstrued that if you don't want a border wall, you just want open borders, but that's not a case a lot of the times. Obviously, I want our country to be safe, and there are issues with immigration. There's issues with every sort of system in America. But I believe that a wall isn't going to fix everything, but I also don't know an exact number of how many people to let in.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Imagine you did, though.
I don't know. I would say that everyone, like in an ideal world, everyone who wanted to come here and wanted to like prosper and stuff would be able to come. That would be my solution, but you can't. That's not feasible.
Okay, so that would mean also, by the way, that you unless you're like a really amazing student, it's possible you wouldn't be going to Penn State
Yeah.
because someone else would have taken your position. Is that cool?
That is cool because I think that it's also important to look at the privilege that got me to the place where I am today. I'm clearly white, so I have like privilege because I'm white. That's just because that like other immigrants were coming here doesn't mean that they were taking my spot.
right.
If they were better than me at school or at I don't know, other shit, like they deserve to be here instead of me.
Okay, how about anybody else have a question for her? Come on, any Trump
have a-
people you like want to throw something out?
I have a question from the stream.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, man.
Who's going to pay for all of those Mexicans without jobs or places to stay?
Whoa, not just Mexicans either, by the way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, whoever asked that on the stream. Wait, do you have a question? Go ahead.
I kind of think that's a loaded question because wait, can you repeat it? I kind of forget what it was. Can you repeat it?
Who is going to pay for all those Mexicans without jobs and places to stay?
A lot of times illegal immigrants who are here are actually taking the jobs that Americans don't want or are too proud to take. So they actually help our economy. That's also something that's incredibly overlooked is that illegal immigration doesn't only just strain our economy, it also helps in a lot of aspects.
Okay, people who are less inclined to support open immigration, you have your chance to ask a question or forever hold your peace. Because that is such an open answer right there. Anyone want to ask something? Y'all like, anybody? Listen, man, conservatives, can I just put something out to you? There is this place at Penn State where conservatives learn to be quiet because you get shut down. And you saw when she said her piece about, I think it's effing stupid or whatever, and then she got applause. And so some of you don't think it's effing stupid. Some of you think it's a really good idea. And you think if I stand up and say that, I'm going to get booed or something. Well, you're not. That's not what this class is. So conservatives, you have to learn to make your points, to articulate your arguments and put them out there. And I'm not talking to just white conservatives. There are a lot of conservatives in here who are black and brown. So does anybody want to pose a question to her? That's a little more challenging.
Yeah, I got one.
There's a guy in the front.
All right, dude, you're on, man. Hang on. Here's your mic.
All right, I got a question. How do you balance law and order with genuinely wanting to help people that want a better life in America? And specifically, large amounts of people just sort of forcing their way in giant caravans and demanding, a place to stay and that we have to let them in.
Dude, awesome question. Take that,
Kind of
liberal
over my
bleeding
head.
heart.
I think that if there were an easy answer, we would have already had the solution. That's kind of a cop-out, but like if there were an easy answer to that question, we would have had a solution by now. I think that it's definitely hard. It's not an easy. I keep saying the same shit. Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry, my mind is like.
No, that's
Yeah.
okay. No. He's
Sorry, I was
Go
sort of rambling through the question. I'll rephrase it. A lot of conservatives don't necessarily oppose wanting people finding a better life. They just find it disgusting to avoid all law and order and force your way into our country and have no respect for our laws that we all have to follow.
Hey, hang on. I just change your word. Swap out your word disgusting with just
Yeah, I
problematic.
didn't mean to use disgusting.
They just find
Forgive
it
me.
problematic. It's just a better word. Problematic.
Problematic.
Yeah.
So something that I think is interesting that is the fact that how difficult it is to become a citizen. I understand that we need to have some sort of system in place, but it costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. And for a lot of people who are coming from countries where they're in dire need to get out and to find a safer place to live, they're not going to be worried about following laws. They're going to be worried about keeping their family safe. So I think that a good place to start would be to revisit our immigration process. Why is it so expensive to come here when they're going to get here and they're going to pay taxes like every other citizen? I personally think that's the first place we should start because it could be something that could help a lot of people.
All right, dude. Cool. Nice job. All right. Great question, by the way. All right, let's go to the next one. Who wants to do that? And you can't be of Asian ancestry. So, who wants to do this one? Who wants to take a shot at it? Come on, man. Somebody. Wait. Who wants to take a shot at it? Somebody in the back, ideally. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll take anybody, but someone in the back. Who wants to take a shot at this? What's it? You want to take a shot? Who wants to just say something about this issue, the rise and importance of Korea and China?
Thank you.
Who wants to go? Who wants to do it? Bro, you want to do it? Who wants to do it? Come on, man. Dude, you want to do it? All right, Mom.
Yo, stay off the back wall, please.
All right. What's your name?
Jonathan.
What is it?
Jonathan.
Jonathan? Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Ethiopia.
In Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Dude, I was going to say that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we met before. Yeah, okay. So go for it.
So, I chose this topic because I'm very interested in technology.
Hold the
And,
mic close.
I'm very interested in technology and looking at what, especially China's domination when it comes to our dominance when it comes to technology, especially Silicon Valley, and what we are seeing now is the copying of technology without respecting any of our patent laws that are set up in this country. So especially any technology that is built and manufactured, developed by taxpayer money in America, is being copied without any regulation or without any type of control in foreign countries, which is a disadvantage for the United States' own interests. So, especially when it comes to copying American intellectual values and manufacturers.
So that's where you would go. What else, man? Do you know who the photos are?
That is the richest person in China. So he has the Amazon of China, and he leads a lot of e-commerce.
Do you know his name?
No, I can't.
Jack Ma. Do you know who the other?
BTS.
What's that?
Is that the? BTS, right? Yeah, BTS.
Yeah, you know who they are?
K-pop group.
Yeah. Can you say something about them?
Did you say?
Do you know anything about them?
I know they came here about a year ago, and they can dance.
They look like they can dance. All right, man. Anybody have a question for him about China and Korea? Anyone want to kick it out? You focused on one thing. Bro, all right, we have a question right here, man, from the Peanut Gallery.
I just want to know, do you feel that it's important that we try to maintain a positive relationship with China since they have such a strong effect on, the U.S. markets and, the global markets?
Dude, nice question.
All right, this is my opinion, right? So your question ties back to what's happening with China right now, the trade war, and everything that is being solved. So, this is my opinion, and I believe that pushing towards and putting more effort and getting the American people what they deserve is the right thing to do when it comes to our foreign relationship. I think the trade war is definitely important for it to happen, and it was bound to happen during this administration or the past administration, because if you look at globally, or if you look at everywhere, we're losing most of our special interest, and thus it comes down to this country.
All right, so listen, man, all the liberals in here who clapped when the Mason made the anti-Trump statement, he just made a pro-Trump statement. So liberals.
Oh, hold up. Yeah, let me. All right, being
the trade war is a good thing. You said.
Being a pro. I mean, when it comes to trade war and our trade relationship, like Obama showed the same thing, and the Democratic Party also holds the same values. Being pro-Trump has a lot into it, so it comes with a lot.
No. I got no.
So,
You just made hang on. You
I'm
made
not
an
trying to get
argument in
tied up
support
with
of
it.
Trump's actions. It's like anything. Anybody who's in power it's just like me. Remember I said half of what I say you'll agree with and half of what I say you'll disagree with? Half of Trump, if you actually really paid attention to what he's doing and what he's saying, I can almost guarantee that half of what he does, almost all of you would agree with.
Yeah.
And the other half would disagree with. And the other half not. And the same with Obama. So
Personally, when it comes to like the economy and how the economy should operate, I align myself more to the conservative side, because anyone who has a reasonable way of thinking when it comes to the economy
all
would
right,
agree.
man. All right, cool. All right. Anybody else? Hang on, Simon. Anybody? Bro, you have a question? Hang on, we got a question in the very back. Hey, Jeff, I probably should have somebody get a microphone up here so I don't have to get a microphone up to the top. Can you grab a mic, run down and get a mic? Bro, can you pass that down?
So this question specifically is about China. So in China, they've started implementing like a social rating system, kind of like a credit score type thing, where if you're a good or bad person, and it can kind of influence your like freedoms, whether you can buy like train tickets or plane tickets or do certain things in society. Even though that's in China, is that something we should be like worried about here?
Dude, nice question, by the way.
So, in my opinion, that kind of what you just described aligns more mostly to a socialism school of thought, and I completely disagree with socialism at all. So, when it comes to controlling the mass and dividing the mass population and trying to regulate it gives the elites more power. And I disagree with giving any power to anyone if it impacts me and everyone else around me. So.
Dude, oh my God, that's a big statement right there. All right, we're going to move on to the next topic. Nice job, man. Yeah. Oh, here we go. This is a good one now. Explain this. Got a few landmines right here, man. You want to do it? Who wants to do it? Explain this. Do you want? You want to do it? All right, man. You are on, my man. All right, what's your name?
CJ,
Where are you from?
Hamden, Connecticut.
All right, man. Connecticut.
Yeah, Russ.
It's a small state, you know. Go ahead, man.
So we
Explain.
got a graph here.
You have to be really clear. Yeah, it's a graph, all right. Median net worth in thousands of dollars, right? So
Yep.
this is going to be family net worth.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the dark blue is no bachelor's degree. So this is the no,
Right.
actually, it's not going to be. It doesn't look like it's family, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So bachelor's degree or higher, and then look at these differences between white, black, Hispanic, and other would be Asian and Native American.
Okay, so clearly we see that the black one is the lowest. And my original thought was going to be to speak to the ideas of like privilege and ethnic and racial advantage in this country, especially in the United States, where you see an African American or a Hispanic or an other representative can have the same educational value or educational experience, but yet still somehow find themselves in lesser jobs or lesser opportunities as far as improving themselves financially the deeper you get into your life. I don't know how else I could probably, I mean, there's a lot to it. You could talk about geographically where you live.
Well, let's talk about this word advantage, man, which is a loaded word. What do you mean by advantage? And are you saying, yeah, what do you mean by advantage?
I'm saying that I feel like white privilege has a lot to do with where you land as far as jobs, especially in corporate America, where you find the larger salaries in this country.
Do you think that white privilege explains those immense differences? Those are like huge.
Well, I mean, it also goes into, especially when you look at the bachelor's degrees, a lot of Hispanic, African American, we don't have the same opportunities as far as college as well. especially, and those are a lot of intersectional factors that go into that.
Yeah.
Where you're from, what type of high school you're going to, what type
Yeah.
of immediate learning you have prior to your college experience.
Okay.
And then
All right.
the dropout rates and everything else will tie into that as well.
Okay. All right, man. Anybody who's got a question?
This is not necessarily directed at you, CJ, but
No, you got to ask him a question, man.
I don't think he's going to know the answer. Does this graph?
Go ahead.
Does this
No.
graph represent the United States? I'm just curious.
Does it represent the U.S.?
It doesn't.
Oh,
say,
yeah. Yeah, it's just the U.S. Sorry. Yep. My bad. Wait, what do you think? Like, who, like, come
It's
on, man.
outrageous.
Thinking like he's dissing CJ already?
I'm low-key offended.
Yeah, he's a black guy. Clearly,
low-key.
CJ, you're black. You're not very smart. You can't answer this.
Hey, I'm still here, though.
The fuck? All right. Hang on. We got a question right here, man.
So I just want to say that I'm Asian here, so my opinion is kind of from outsider. But what do you think about like the cultural aspect? So, like for the language, like the way they talk, the way they do, it's not really relate, or it's not really like fit
So,
for
like-
the professional environment, which recruiter might not want to hire, or like they just kind of stand back when they see like guys approach them.
Okay. So you got that? So, like, what about cultural aspects, like language and just the way people engage in culture? Like, how much does that come into play? Yeah. Good
Let's
question.
see. I'm probably a little biased because I'm an African American history major. So I wrote a paper. I transferred from the University of Notre Dame. I wrote my sociology final last semester on the disadvantages and how far behind you end up when you don't go to preschool in the United States, and how much language you're not introduced to by the ages of like 6 when you jump into like 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what you see with African American, Hispanic, and especially other representatives that we said, did we say Asian? Is that what we said?
Yeah, Asian too. Yeah.
We say Asian. The English language is kind of hard to adapt to if you're a foreigner or an outsider. So by those ages, you see a lot where you might not have been experienced to like more than 50% of the English language, which would obviously set you back in many areas of your education. So I guess hopefully
Dude,
that answers
nice.
your question.
All right, nice. Who else? Who's got a question? Who wants to throw a question out? All right, none. Hang on. You already asked a question, bro. Somebody else. Who's got a question? Hang on. I got one right here, man. Interesting response, by the way. That's cool.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say beforehand, given the divisiveness of this issue, I do fully agree with your point about white privilege in the country. However, I just want to know, do you think that there's some type of data skew going on, given by the fact that they're using median to measure the net worths as opposed to a true average or mean?
Dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Say that in
Welcome
English
to the
for me?
world of being a professor, my man.
Right. Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah, let me repeat it.
In English, please?
All right.
All right. So they're using a median, so instead of a mean, so instead of the average value, they're just taking like the number in the exact middle as opposed to like the true average of those.
Fuck, I failed math. Someone's got to help me.
Well, I can elaborate more if you want.
Yeah, all right. Wait. Wait, hang on. Go right there. Yeah.
Well, I wanted first to speak to his question, if I could.
Yeah, go
Since he
ahead,
answered.
dude.
Well,
Thank
usually
God.
when they're talking about salaries, they use a median because it's not skewed by people who are worth like $100 billion.
Like Jack
so
Ma.
if they use an average, like Jeff Bezos is worth $130 billion, so like that would be that would skew an insane amount. So that's why they use a median, so it's a better answer. Because that way, Jeff Bezos is worth as much as the guy who's homeless. Like he's worth the same amount because it's just they're picking the number in the middle.
Nice. All right, dude. Cool.
That
All
makes
right.
sense.
Totally makes sense.
That makes sense.
Or people like me that's, just so wealthy. All right, good enough. Nice job. All right. Oh, yeah, here we go. Islam and violence. Oh, you can't be Muslim and answer this either. Here's where we need a Trump person. Nah, I'm just kidding. Anybody? Islam and violence. Yep. You got it? Bro, you got it? All right, come on down. Wait, What's your name?
I'm Ben.
Ben?
Yeah.
All right, where are you from?
Long answer. We'll say New Hampshire for now.
New Hampshire?
Yeah, I was born in China, but I lived in the U.S. for 10 years.
All right. Okay, Islam and violence. Ben, go for it.
So I guess a couple of things to say to start off. I'm not Muslim. I don't really know a lot about Islam, besides the fact that I just got back from Jordan and Palestine for the last 3 weeks, was where I was backpacking. And I only went because I didn't really know anything about the Middle East. Like, I've never been to the Middle East, so I kind of went in only knowing what the U.S. media was telling us. And, I mean, the bias is insane. So I think a couple interesting things to point out is I was in Palestine, where obviously they're Muslim, but they're right next to Israel, which is Jewish. And I think there's a lot of conflict there, and I think I was really trying to figure out what their motivations are in terms of, like, what their struggles are. And I think if you want to talk about Islam and violence, Palestine's probably the place you would go to try to go find it. And to be honest, I was staying in a refugee camp for a night, and I lived with somebody who was in the refugee camp, and to be honest, their motivations have very little to do with violence. Like, so the average citizen, I would say, is totally not associated with the violent groups that are in that area of the world. Like, even like talking with him, like he was saying the Palestinian, I don't know, maybe prime minister or president, like there's so much corruption even in the government that like what the people want versus what the government even wants is what's saying to the media is so different, because the people don't really have a voice there. So what the government is focused on is trying to deal with the violent issues, which is, I think, why there's so much exposure to the violence in the media. And the U.S. is picking up on that. And based on what the people were saying there, is the violence is actually fueled by people like the U.S. government, because we're the ones that are funding for the weapons to be supplied to people like the Israeli government, which is what's kind of starting a lot of the violence there.
And the weapons that the Palestinians use, where are those coming from?
I'm not entirely sure, because based on what they were saying, like even the Arab countries bordering Palestine aren't really allied with Palestine. So
okay, how about like what do you make of the current rise of ISIS and ISIL and so on, right? What do you make of that, and what we're seeing and the Talib movement, the Taliban in Afghanistan, so Syria,
right.
Iraq. How do you make sense of that? Because they call themselves the Caliphate, the Muslim Caliphate.
Right. The real answer is I don't know. But what I think is those groups are obviously extremists, and they're a very small number. But I think, to be honest, they're such a small group of the population, and we're focusing on them because they make for good news, and people will watch the news about what's happening with ISIS versus what's happening with regular people. Like, it makes more money, which is why the media is talking about it. So, to be honest, I don't know what the real answer is.
All right, that's cool.
That's what I think.
Anybody have a question? Yeah. All right, that's fair. Did you go into Israel, by the way, on your trip?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I was in Jerusalem for 3 days, and then I went to Bethlehem, which is in Palestine, where the separation wall is.
Yeah. Were you in Jerusalem on Shabbat?
Yeah.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, so in the old city, there's like different quarters. There's the Jewish quarter, which celebrates Shabbat, so it was really quiet. But then the Arab side was still like
still rocking and rolling. Yeah.
Open till midnight kind of thing.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, I want to say I like your shirt.
It was free. They were giving out free Chick-fil-A sandwiches, so I took one.
I know.
Dude, exactly. Stand up. Dude.
Sure.
But I was going to ask how you felt about how, after 9/11, how you think Americans' views of Islam kind of changed.
Right, okay. So I have something to talk about this. So I was in Tel Aviv, and there was a gallery that was showcasing like how Israelis felt about people around them, and they use this quote that I think the Americans also use, that I see in airports, saying, "We will not forgive and we will not forget." So that's talking about like how we were victims, and we will not forget that we were victims. So inside the art gallery, it was like a contemporary art gallery. So there was a movie talking about basically how Israel as a country was a victim and how it turned into the aggressor because it was the victim. Because I think there's such a sense of fear that we're attacking instead of being neutral. Like previously we were victims, which is one in the spectrum, and to try to I guess compensate isn't the best word, but to try to kind of neutralize where we are, they turn into aggressors like we have now, which is why I think we're going into so many different countries and using our powers, I guess, with the army.
You can make an argument that it's very similar with the Palestinians. By the
Right,
way.
right. That's how
kind
I
of
feel
a
about
thing.
it.
All right, cool. Dude, nice, good job. That's a tough one. Yo, you're walking on a lot of landmines there. We're going to hit a lot of these issues as we move forward. So if anybody feels like maybe that story didn't, because Israel-Palestine, this is just this. If anyone feels kind of some kind of way about that, it's all right. We got a whole semester. We'll be back at it. Okay, skin. I think it ought to be a white person too, by the way. No, not you, bro. You already spoke. Someone in the back. Bro, were you down here last week? All right, come on, man. Our last class. You weren't down here last class, right? All right, man. All right, first off, in order to do this, correct, what's your name? Jake? All right, Jake, in order to do this, the first thing you got to do is pick out the darkest skin and the lightest skin person in class. All right. Bring them down, invite them down to the front. You got to walk around, man. Darkest skin person, the lightest skin person. Yeah.
That's pretty hard thing to do.
No, it's not, dude. The darkest, yeah, you got to pick them out. Lightest skin person, darkest skin person. That's what we do in here, man. I think it might be on the other side of the class, dude.
I'm looking for both at the same time.
All right.
Just
go ahead.
That stands out. I feel like a pale person will stand out more.
Yeah, who do you think? No, go ahead, keep going, bro. Come on, hurry up. Who do you think it is? No, go ahead, stand up. Yeah. Wait. Who do you think it is, man? Help this guy out. Yeah, dog. Who do you think's the darkest skinned person? Come on, Jake, you got it. You're not going to offend anybody because everyone who has dark skin knows they have dark skin. Nah, it's not him, dude. No way. Everyone who has really light skin. I'm talking light. I'm talking translucent white. Dude, I know. He didn't even see you. You're so dark. You blended in, right? Come on, Jake. How'd I do, dude?
Him? I'll keep you in mind.
Come on, Jake. You got it. You need help?
All right.
Do you need help, man? Wait, how come you're not finding anybody? Look at that dude right there. He's privately pointing people out for you.
All right. The darkest I'm going to say is the guy in the back at the top.
Yeah, totally. Yo.
I'm sorry, bro.
Dude, I can't even see him, man. Yeah, dude, come on down. All right, the lightest. Who's the lightest? Yo, bro, you got to come down.
I don't know. It might be her.
Yeah, come down. It's you. I know. You're surprised he picked you. What's that? Yeah, no, come on down. Real fast. The lightest skin. Come on, bro. Hurry up, man. We don't have time. Damn.
All right. I'm going to say the girl in the Penn State sweatshirt right here.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's pretty white.
Who said? Let me see. Stand up. Oh, totally. Oh, my God. It's like the light is beaming off of her. Yo, come on down. Real fast. Bro, come on down real fast. Yeah. All right, Jake. So here's what you're going to do. Yeah, I would say. Very. Do you tan at all when you... Or in the sun? What's that? You just go straight from white to burn? Yeah. Like you go like white, whatever that it's white?
Goes
All right.
white to red.
What's your name?
Sam.
Sam?
Yeah.
Dude, nice name. Man. And what's your name?
Sean.
Sean? Did you know he was going to pick you? Low key? You didn't? Well, no, hang on. I need another mic. Oh, wait, hang on. Go ahead.
All right, so like low key, I was scared. So I was talking to Lauren, and I was like, "She gonna pick me?" And he was like, "Maybe," but
why didn't
I don't know why you picked me, dog.
Why didn't you want him to pick
I don't
you?
know why you picked me, dog.
Wait, why didn't you want him to pick you?
I just don't want to come up.
Oh, I see. All right.
For this in particular.
How about you? Wait, why this in particular? What about this in particular, bro?
You're crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Hang on.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people I could have picked for either of you, but you were
Okay.
just kind of standing out at the top, so it's easiest to pick out.
I was sitting down. I put my head down on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but your
what he
boy
saw.
picked
He
you
saw
out.
your
He was like,
hair,
pick him.
and he thought your hair was just, I get it. So, dude, say something about their skin. Something meaningful. Look at them both right there.
What do you want me to say about it?
Whatever, man. You volunteered. Your job. You're teaching the class now. Say something about the two of them that's meaningful. Teach the class something about
They're
them.
both beautiful.
Dude. That's what I'm saying. All right. Now, say something else. Come on. What about skin? Look at their skin. Here, hang on. Look at their skin right here. How they get the color, how they get different skin tones, what happens when they're in
It's
the
just
sun.
he has more melatonin than her.
What's that? What's that? Say that again. Say that again. No, what did you say? Yeah, more melatonin. Yeah, all right, that's good. All right.
But
I
the
got
reason
it.
is because
Next one.
when people started first moving out of Africa, everyone was first black, and then basically the genetic modification, because up in like Sweden and stuff, when your skin's lighter, it absorbs more vitamin D.
The
And
Swede.
so that's
Where's
why
the
people.
Swede? Yeah, go ahead. Got
And
it.
that's why people became white in Europe and stuff like that. And that's why if you went from the middle of the country up, it would be like slowly fading to white, because when your skin's not in the sun as much, it needs to absorb more vitamin D compared to if like the sun's out all day and all year round.
Dude, you killed it. All right. Did anybody have any questions for him? That was good.
I learned that in another sociology class.
All right, cool. Anybody have a question for him? Wait, what's your name? Jake? Yeah. Jake. Anyone got a question for Jake? We gonna go? Here we go, man. Hang on. Question for Jake.
Can we comment on how like beautiful this man's skin is, though?
Yo, dog, go ahead, man.
It's not just the melanin. I'm talking about like what you do. You use cocoa butter? You shea butter? That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Wait, you hang on. It's just his skin that's beautiful, or him? He's kind of a dog, but you got nice skin. Sean, you're kind of ugly, but you got nice skin, man.
I think he's good looking.
What are you saying?
No, it's about skin.
No, I got you. Go ahead. Is that it? All right.
You're pretty good looking.
Wait, stand up really fast. All right. No, stand up and stay standing up.
So I have a question about the two volunteers.
Yep.
So like my first question is that how do you feel about like people of color bleaching their skin, not being proud of who they are, like what they're born with?
For him and
Yeah.
for her, what's your question for
And
her?
for her is like, I didn't make up a question.
No, it's the opposite.
Right, facts. So like how I don't understand like with tanning. It's like when people tan to get darker, but they don't like darker skinned people, but they're darkening their pigmentations with.
Okay, here, but let me actually flip. I'm going to flip that question to Sam. Now hang on. I'm going to help you with the question. I'm going to just flip it. Sam, how do you feel about the fact that people who have really pale skin, such as yourself, have very little pigmentation in their skin, that actually feel kind of ashamed by it and wish they could get more tan? That's what it is for white people.
I have no problem with being pale. I mean, I like getting tan.
But what's the question again?
Well, the question is, how do you feel about white people with skin like yours who feel kind of ashamed or like they don't like it? They wish they could tan more.
It's their own body. Do what you want. Like, if you want to get tan, get tan.
But you can't get tan.
That's true.
You get red.
I get red. I get very red.
Are you happy about that?
I mean, not when I get red 'cause it sucks. It very much hurts.
So if you could choose,
I would get tan.
you would get tan.
I would get tan.
Okay,
because
that's his
everyone
question
points
to
it
you.
out.
What's behind that?
I mean, everyone just says like, "Oh, hey, you're so pale. Like, just go sit out in the sun for a little bit or something." Like, I know that. I know I'm pale.
So the equivalent to him then is, what do people say to him? Bro. Sean, what do people say to you?
I have beautiful skin.
Yeah. No, but the equivalent for you would be, oh, you're so dark, if you were a little bit lighter, or whatever the case is, right? Do you ever hear that?
So I would say, so it's weird, right? I feel like between now and the past probably like couple of years, in terms of just like me, like growing up and stuff like that, attitudes like shift, right? So when you're younger, and I grew up in New York, but where I grew up was like majority black neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. But I went to school with majority white people, right? So when I was growing up, it was a lot of like anti-blackness kind of things, like, oh, you're so dark, this, that, and the third. And then going to high school too, it was a bit different because I went to high school with, it was different. It was a whole lot of black people I went to high school with, which was better for me in theory, but at the same time, it was kind of like, it was kind of mixed. And then when I got to college, it was a lot of like what she said. It was a lot of, oh, your skin is this and that, your skin is beautiful, this and that, right? And I think that when you get older and when you lose a lot of ignorance and a lot of anti-blackness that's kind of like rooted socially within everybody here, attitude shift and things kind of change, right? So for me now, my attitude towards me being dark-skinned or whatever the case may be is different from when I was 5, 6, 7 years old in elementary school till now when I'm in college and I'm about to graduate. You know what I mean? So
cool. All right, man. Do you have anything you want to respond? You want to say to that?
My skin's popping though. You know the vibes.
Yeah.
Man, bro.
Do you want to say anything? Do you have anything to say, by chance? Me? Yeah. Yeah, man. You just this is your opportunity to shine. You don't really? If you do, here, stand up real fast. What's your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yes. I don't really know what I have to say. I was just kind of given the mic.
No, do you have anything to say? If you don't, that's fine. Because I had pointed you out earlier, so.
You did point me out earlier. I thought I was going to get chosen, but then they found you.
You're another option.
So, I guess I agree with what he was saying. I think that attitudes have shifted towards dark skin, like when we were younger, elementary school, middle school, you know, it wasn't, oh my God, your skin's so beautiful. It was, you're so dark. We can't see you when the light's off, you know, like that type of stuff. But now
from your friends, not from white people, right? I mean, white people aren't saying we can't see you when the lights off.
I didn't go to school with any white people or anything that, so I didn't experience that from them. But yeah, I just agree with him. Like, you know, when we were younger, it wasn't a good thing. Now that we're older, it's a trend now, and everybody likes chocolate skin.
Dude. Hey, listen, so let me say the following on this. We're going to talk about skin, by the way. Like, this is one of these really highly political things for white people who, like, especially white people who don't see color kind of things, you know what I mean? I didn't even notice you were black. Oh, my gosh. Didn't notice. I saw Sean, you and Sam, I just thought you were the same people. All right. Anyway, white people. White people, don't do that, okay? You don't have to do that. That's not what it means. I understand why white people do that, because we're taught that if we mention color at all, it means we're racist. So the extreme of that is then we say, we don't see color, which is simply absurd. So it's like, no, it's okay to see color. The point is, okay, but what I want to say is, what's interesting, Sam, is that white people have not had, because we've not experienced, because really light and pale skin has, historically speaking, been politicized in a positive way. It's been seen as a really good thing. White people now haven't had the similar kind of political liberation, say for you, to say, no, actually pale skin is fine, because white people get shamed. If you have really pale skin, and I think a lot of black and brown people don't understand this, if you have really pale skin, you get shamed into having pale skin, right? Like Sam, you said, like, people say, oh, you're so pale. They don't mean that in a positive way. Is anyone ever saying to you, oh, you're so pale, that's so beautiful, it's so lovely, it's great? I mean, if you were in Korea, maybe. No, hang on, I'm asking you that question. Does anyone ever say that in a positive way?
I mean, I've gotten like one person who said that, and I was just like who said like, oh, you're so pale, and I was like, yeah, I know. And they were like, oh, it's beautiful, like you're beautiful. Like,
you're beautiful anyway, right?
Anyway.
And the subtext is, it's just like, you know, what you were saying, and Sean, what you were saying when you were younger. It's a similar kind of thing. It really is. That you're kind of ugly, and it's really bad to have pale skin. That's the subtext. I'm not saying that, by the way. You're lovely. But you get that, right? And so I think that a lot of times we don't understand that white people, it's not the same thing. So black people in particular understand. I'm not saying it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's just the corollary of what happens with white people is sometimes there's a similar kind. It's a very interesting thing. Anyway, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for standing. Thanks, everybody. Cool. Cool.
Are we done? Nice.
Dude, nice. All right, man. We'll come back to that. That's fun. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Hey. No, hang on. No. Do you want to take it? No, I know you can take it. Do you want to take it? Wait, we should have a white person take it. Should we not have a white person take it? You do it with a white person. All right, you come on up. And I need a white person. Can I have someone wait, dude, are you going to not be politically correct? Do you have like a parent who's a cop
more
or something?
conservative?
No, hang on. Are you conservative at all? I mean, are you like, I don't want like a liberal white person who says, oh yeah, cops are really racist and they suck and blah, blah, blah. You won't be that. All right, dude, come on down. All right, man, what's your name? Destiny? Destiny. It's man. What's your name?
Someone that likes cops, right?
Yeah, likes cops. No, it doesn't like cops, but just aren't going to play that bleeding heart liberal white. You know what I mean? Like white people we hate ourselves, and we have to prove to black people that we're cool by hating ourselves. And like, okay, wait, what's your name? Okay. What is it again?
Ethan.
Ethan. All right, Ethan, man. Dude, what's your tattoo? Let me see your tattoo. Oh, yeah, cool. All right, man. All right, who wants to go first? You want to go first? You can go anywhere you want with it. Ethan, you go first. Ladies first, man. Come on. Destiny first.
Personally, I think that, especially, I'm speaking on behalf of not as behalf as the black community, but in my personal experience with the police.
Well, no, hang on. No, you're teaching the class. You got to teach them something, not just from personal experience. You got to say like, okay, so listen, let me explain to you this thing about da.
Okay, so let me explain to you about police brutality in mainly urban city areas. So in cities such as like Philly, New York, I'm just gonna say Philly, New York, Chicago too, okay, Detroit too, honestly. We grow up with this thought of not liking the police automatically. Like when we're born, we're just taught to, if the police come, you either run or you turn away. It's also this no snitching policy, so we just don't talk to police. That's just something that's engraved into our system, and it's something that the cycle continues inside all black communities everywhere. Honestly, we don't talk to the police because the police are not for us. The police don't protect the way they're supposed to protect, at least not for the black community.
Hey, can you say more about that historically? Like, where does that come from?
So, historically, it mainly stems from usually Caucasian people having the authority inside America, and when they have the authority, they don't do the correct thing with their authority. So basically, they abuse the fact they have the authority over other people, and inside Black communities especially, it stemmed from police when they like. How do I explain this? They pretty much put patrol cars inside of all Black neighborhoods to monitor Black people and see what they were doing. So when the patrol cars came and they started making small arrests, the police and Black people started to come in contact more, but not the proper way to come in contact with police. It was more in negative manners. If you see them, you're probably locking me up, questioning me about my friend, or patting me down with the stop and frisk.
All
So
right.
it just stems from a long time ago.
All right, cool. All right, Ethan. Teach us something about police violence, right? I put violence in quotes, right, because it's relative, and racism. And you can define racism any way you want, and you can say it whatever you want, however you want to do it, anything.
All right. So I'll start out by saying that, my hand shot up right away because I actually was hoping that this would be one. I like this topic.
Yep.
I don't really have a strong view one way or the other, but I have very strong opinions about this topic, mainly in the case of just the mass blame that all cops get for a few bad apples.
Okay, so remember, you're teaching the class about it. So your first lesson, your first statement is, yeah, cops get, there are a few bad apples for sure, and cops get blamed in mass for things. Okay, cool. Go ahead, man. Cool.
I think that goes with almost every stereotype, though. Whether it's blacks or the Islam side that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there's someone, it's the same thing. Whenever there's a crime committed by maybe a black person, and it's related to gangs, or when there's a crime committed by someone who's Muslim, and it's an act of terror. But then when a white person could commit that same crime, it's not really seen as a terrorist act.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that when it comes down to it, though, with the whole Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, I think a big issue is just the response that comes from maybe the African American community or police officers who take it into their own hands. I think that's the only thing that needs to stop. When one racist cop goes over the line, maybe even kills a black person that did not deserve it, and then the response from possibly a black member of the community is to turn and shoot two pigs in the back. I'm not saying that happens all the time. I'm just saying that that's specifically not the answer.
Yeah.
On one hand, but on another hand, you have the fact that cops that'll do these things, I think you guys all know about the body cams that the police sometimes wear now, just to kind of enforce this. I don't really think that's the answer either. I'm not saying that we should just let them go. I'm saying who gets a body cam? Do all police officers get a body cam? Do some police officers get a body cam? Do police officers that are more likely to?
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a point, because when it comes to the point of maybe we should just give body cams to police officers that are potentially racist. Potentially racist police officers just shouldn't be police officers. You shouldn't have potentially racist police officers.
All right, cool, man. All right, dude. He did refer to the cops as pigs. You said. You heard that, right? Okay. Do you want to take questions? You got a question? Yes, ma'am. Hang on. Let me just go to her first. She had her hand up.
All right, this is for you. So you
Wait,
said
who's you?
the one in the white shirt.
Ethan.
Yes, Ethan. All right, so you said that racist cops should get body cams, but how would you point out cops that are racist?
Whoa, good question. All right. Yep.
I don't know if I said it wrong or if you heard it wrong. I basically said that shouldn't happen because there just shouldn't be racist cops, period.
Yeah, not all cops. Right, exactly.
I
Cops.
was posing that as a suggestion when we talk about body cam issues. Because obviously every cop can't get a body cam. Not only is it just not logical, it also is going to affect them in their line of duty as well. Because when you talk about a cop's job is to protect us. So when they're worried about, going in somewhere to protect someone, but then they got to, oh, wait, let me put my camera on real quick, like make sure it's recording all that.
Or alternatively, let me turn it off because I'm going
Yeah,
pulling
no, it's
somebody
true.
over. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. My observation in all this, like I went on a civil rights tour to the South, to a couple of states in Tennessee and Alabama, and it's so different. Like when you see the towns, the black communities, they're so different from, let me say, State College or any other town in the North. And then I took a couple of lessons that presentation is really important, like how you present yourself. You could be a good person, but the way that you present yourself could put you in a position whereby you become a stereotype because of the way that you present yourself. So I think that's something that we need to work on as black people.
Okay.
To be honest.
All right. Destiny, you take that. Do you ever
I understand.
Go ahead.
I understand where you're coming from exactly with the way you present yourself is the way everybody's going to judge you, because everybody has first impressions. Everybody judges everybody. So I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, it's just, as black people, and I'm pretty sure every black person here can relate going to a PWI, you have to present yourself in a certain way in order for certain people to accept you. And inside the black community, we know how to, what is known as code switching, which is how we talk when we're around our friends versus how we talk when we're inside the corporate world or inside school. So I understand where you're coming from and how we need to, I guess, act better as a community. But at the same time, certain things that we do, certain things that we say, we are allowed to say because we are turning a trial into a triumph, honestly. Certain things that we say and certain things that the way we act and the way we make jokes about everything, the way we laugh at everything, the way we support everybody else, or like if you see a big circle of like people dancing, you see the black people hyping them up. That's just the way we are. We have taught ourselves how to come back up over something that's really small, or like if people beat us down, we taught ourselves how to come back up. So I think certain things are stereotypes and certain things we do act like, but if it's the way our personality is, if that's the person's personality, they are allowed to act like that. I hope I just answered your question.
All right. We hang.
I have another one right
man.
here. Sam.
Yeah.
Right here.
All right, go ahead, man.
Hi, so I kind of want to go off something that, I think your name is Ethan, right? Black hat. You kind
Ethan.
Yeah,
it's Ethan. You got
okay. No, like this, like not. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but kind of off your point of the bad apples. I understand that the point of view that you're coming from with talking about how there are cops that aren't doing this, but as it's shown throughout history, is that sometimes the peaceful majority is irrelevant, and unless something is done, nothing will change. So this is kind of for both of you: is what are you looking to have change then?
Good, nice question. In some ways, you don't even have to answer that, but it's a good question. Like, what do we do? Where do we start the change? We'll talk about that in the class, by the way. Anyone else have a really kicker question? Hang on, let me just go to her, because you haven't. I know, but you said something earlier, but she didn't.
So, like, when he said,
Ethan.
No.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. So, like, when he said make a change, one community is building frustration while the other one is just watching what's on the news. So how can there be an equal change if there's two different experiences?
Dude, good question, man. And if you're not privy to race relations in the United States, mind you, that is the beginning of the conversation about race relations in the U.S. It's like we're not starting at the same place, and so a lot of times we're trying to. We can only imagine that if we're going to start moving somewhere, we got to all have to start together, but we're starting at different places. So, one final one. Yes.
Quick shout out to Tanner's dad who's watching the stream.
Cool, man. Dude, what's his name? Tanner's dad?
Tanner's dad.
Dude, dad. Nice having you.
My question is for both of you, and it's, do you think you can be racist to white people?
Wait, to both? Wait. All right.
Short answer, no, not possible. Because in order to be racist, you have to be on the side of prejudice, and y'all have never been on that side. Not saying y'all is not you, but like white people as a whole, we can't be racist towards you if it's nothing to be racist about when y'all are still in power. Honestly.
I'm allowed to respond.
Yeah. Wait. Go ahead.
Just real quick to answer it, I'm probably going to disagree, only because I think that obviously black people can be racist to white people. I would agree with you with the point that you were saying, but I would word it differently. I would say that there's not oppression when it goes the opposite way, obviously.
Yeah.
But racism, obviously, I feel like that's kind of what it is when black people attack a white person. They're like, a black person shoots like a white cop because they're not really gonna
or just
shoot a
even
black
says racist things about someone.
Yeah,
So
and that's
what
why
Destiny,
I just changed the word to oppression because I think.
Okay, so what Destiny here is getting at, we'll talk. We're going to talk about this in class. It's really a matter of defining concepts, and we'll get into that. So, the ways in which a lot of people see that. Hey, we have. Go ahead, man.
Oh, my boy Ethan kind of covered it. He changed the word to oppression. But what I was going to say is that from my definition, or what I think racism is a tool that's used to enforce oppression or systemic oppression. So ultimately, how can a black person systemically oppress a white person?
Dude, I'll tell you how later in the semester.
I'm actually really interested.
Yeah, no, I'll give you a way in which
because if
that
I can
happen.
do it, I
Wait,
might have to.
Wait, hang on. Wait, hang on. Yo, we still have 3 minutes left, y'all. All right, just chill, because I need to say a couple things at the end of the.
Can I just say a quote?
A quote.
Yeah,
One
it's
quote,
just a
and then I
quote.
have 2 announcements to make. Yes.
So this is from Ben Franklin, and he said, this is my senior quote. He said, "Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are."
All right. Thanks, man. Dude, thanks, man.
2 announcements.
All right, 2 announcements really fast. Hey, by the way, really, we're going to get out of here at 4:20. You know why we get out at 4:20 every day? Because I got places to go. All right. No, listen, seriously. No, honestly, we do get out at 4:20 every day. Here's what I want to say. Couple quick things. This was really nice, but it was really interesting for me to hear. You all had some really thoughtful things to say and some great questions. So it's pretty cool to see kind of where we're starting from. It's really important that you read the syllabus. That's the key thing. The pack-back piece, if you were one of the 11 people who paid $25 for pack-back instead of $15, you'll hear from them. So just to get your $10 back. And that's important because $10 will buy you like 3 cases of Natty Light, you know. And the other thing, you got to read the syllabus and understand what's happening. You really have to read the pack-back stuff because we can't explain that piece by piece. So it's just really important that you get that and you understand it. Discussion groups start next week. That's the 50-minute session in Pond Lab. So make that happen. And if you are interested in that Peru Study Abroad program, come down and talk to me really fast and I'll tell you where you can go. And have a safe weekend.